You ever get the feeling that everything in America is completely fucked up? You know that feeling that the whole country is like 1 inch away from saying, that's it, forget it. Let's see,
Hey,
we're
twist
on,
around. Now look, here's a
92
house full of
FM
bees.
tonight. It feels like
You think the
nice
honey
cool
badger
little
cares?
band
It doesn't
so
give a
far.
shit.
Listen, let's get one thing straight.
Price is right.
Guns don't kill people. I do.
There's an Elvis movie on the marquee sign. We've all seen at least 3 times. Everybody's broke, Bobby's got a buck. Put $1 worth of gas in his pickup truck. We're going 90 miles an hour down a dead-end road. What's a hurry, son? Where you gonna go? I'll every move, shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. It's a small town Saturday night. Old Jackie. Lucy's got a lipstick on.
I think some apologies are
I love that song, but I don't know who it is. Steve Earle?
No.
No.
I could see how you guess that, though. Yeah. Isn't that a great song?
It is a great song.
That song is by Hal Ketchum.
Okay.
1991, which was peak country music.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Garth, we got your Alan Jackson.
Yes.
You got your Travis Tritt.
Dude, when you're sitting by a pool in, I don't know, Tennessee, drinking a beer and listening to 90s country, it's just like the perfect soundtrack for that experience, you know?
Thanks for not staying in the Bay Area of California.
Right. We were in Tennessee last year, 4th of July, and they were playing that kind of music around the pool, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is a good song.
That's good hanging music.
This dude there, he goes, he goes, this is like 90s country. This was the best era for country. He goes, you guys probably don't know all this stuff. And I was like, excuse me? No. He was right, though. Most of the people around there were transplants to Tennessee from California. Almost everybody.
Yeah.
And they all listen to country music, but they didn't grow up listening to it. So he was kind of right. But I was like, no, dude, I grew up on this stuff. This is... Dude, check this out. That dude, Hal Ketchum, so that song came out in 91, and then in 98, he was diagnosed with a neurological disorder called acute transverse myelitis, an ailment of the spinal column, which left him without the use of the left side of his body.
Whoa.
And this also forced him to relearn basic tasks, including how to walk and play the guitar.
Dang.
He relearned how to play the guitar, which is impressive. He was also a painter, like a artist, and a master carpenter.
Wow.
I know.
That's awesome.
Rad dude.
True working man.
Yep. It's the real deal.
I always get confused when someone says someone's a painter. I'm like, they spray houses or start genocides. Like, which kind of painter are we talking about here?
God, I know. If only Hitler had just a terrible drinking problem and painted people's houses on the weekend.
Had an affinity for the acoustic guitar. So my wife's finally back in town.
Yay!
Yes, she was in Mexico for a week on a girls' trip. And then my mom came down to help out with dad duty so I could get my kid to school so I could go to work. And then we were going to go down to my brother's house for dinner. And the night before, my mom and I got in this, because she was a healthcare professional, got in a discussion about the COVID shot, flu shot, stuff like that. I was like, do you think there's anything to people?
This is what stood out.
Always taking these shots and it kind of doing something to their immune system. I was like, I don't know a lot of people in the trades who typically don't take the flu shot or the COVID shot that get the flu. And she said, well, yeah, I mean, injecting yourself with anything is going to have an effect on your body.
Fair.
Then I come home. I was like, hey, I thought we were going to my brother's. She goes, no, they're all sick with the flu. I went, interesting. And then
Dude, no one's ever going to admit to you going forward that they are sick in any way.
You look a little pale.
I just hung over.
Fine.
Thought you didn't drink. No, I started again last night.
And so I tell my wife about that. And she goes, basically, here you go again. You know what I mean? And then we're supposed to go to my in-laws to have a glass of wine last night. I was like, when are we going over to your parents? They live one house down. She goes, my father-in-law, he's got the flu like really bad. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Like it just kept lining up. She goes, sweetness, sometimes people just get the flu. I'm like, that they do. That they do.
I told you about the guy walking in front of my house the other morning. So he and his wife were walking by with I think they had a stroller. And as I came out, I heard him going, I've gotten sick more times since COVID than like any time in my life before. And I was like, like being really quiet, like, what's that saying? Interesting. And they kind of saw me and they both just stopped talking.
Yeah.
Walked all the way past my house. And then, but she goes, actually, before they saw me, she goes, and what do you attribute that to? Mm-hmm. And he was just silent.
Yeah.
As I'm like mean mugging him as he walks by. I'm like, go ahead. What do you think it is? Come on. You got a theory. I'm sure you got a theory. What is it? And then I couldn't quite hear. He started telling her what it was as they were just out of earshot. And I was just straining my neck. Like,
so maybe I recapped part of this for you, but it extended into today. Mm-hmm. So maybe you can let me know what's your ruling on this.
Okay.
Because one of the best things about anamemic behavior is you take small, like seemingly irrelevant things and you extrapolate from them. I'm like, this is kind of going on like bigger picture, like this little interaction I'm having right now.
Yeah, because your mind isn't being instantly distracted with some other shiny object. So you take that small thing and dwell on it.
Just thinking.
Just dwelling.
So,
brooding.
My wife and I have had this like long running joke when this was maybe 12 years ago, something like that. She got me a gift certificate for a haircut to go to a barber, which I don't think I've ever been to a barber before that. I'd always just...
This is the heart attack thing?
Yes, but I need to set the table here.
Yeah, okay.
Is I'd always just shave my head, let it grow, a couple months later, shave my head. And then I asked her, I was like, hey, so what do you do at a barber? Like, they give you like a book you go through and you pick a haircut? It's like a poster on the wall. Like, you just give them a rough idea. Like, do I have to have like something picked out in my mind? She goes, just go there. Like, you'll be fine. I'm like, all right. Like, sounds good. Now I love the barber. Like, not only like the haircut's nice, but it's like total dude hang. Yeah. It's like dudes just like riffing, Sports Center on the TV. Like, it's just like, it's like a spa for dudes. Yeah. Which is awesome. She goes, yeah, I knew a guy that worked there. He died of AIDS. And I just went like, this is like 2016, something like that. Yeah. And I went like, really? Now, I don't know this person. I know an average amount about AIDS, what I was taught in school or whatever. Now, if my simple kind of walk out the brain door or walk out the door brain, yes, would just kind of said like, that seems weird. And she goes, why is that? I was like, well, I mean, if you said this in 1990, I'd be like, oh, that's tragic. Right. That's terrible. And I go like, but isn't AIDS kind of a manageable thing? Like, I don't hear about people dying.
People die of AIDS.
Yeah. She goes, well, actually, he had a heart attack. And I went, what are we doing here?
He died with AIDS.
Yeah, something like that. That was an odd conversation that we just had. And anyway, it became a running joke for us because every once in a while she would just do this 180 in a conversation. And I would just years later go like, actually, he had a heart attack, and then we'd both laugh. So she's getting ready to go to Mexico, and I'm driving to work, and they're talking on the radio, the ice storms are coming, all over the U.S., and they're talking about all these canceled flights, hundreds of thousands of flights that they're going to cancel. So I call my wife, who's leaving that night. I'm like, hey, just a heads up, they're canceling flights like all over the U.S. You should call and make sure everything's good with your flight, because she was going to leave at night. I was like, you don't want to be stuck somewhere in the middle of the night. And she goes, oh, well, it's fine. I got a direct flight. Again, the pragmatic, simple brain. I don't know the flight schedule. I don't know what airline she's doing.
She's leaving out of Santa Rosa.
Well, I do know she's leaving out of Santa Rosa.
Which is a tiny airport.
Yes. So it sticks out in my mind. I go, what are the chances there's a direct flight from Santa Rosa to Mazatlan? Like, I doubt that. And so I said, you have a direct flight from Santa Rosa to Mazatlan? She goes, well, no, I'm stopping in LA. I'm like, yeah, that's not flying direct. And I said, like, actually, he had a heart attack. And so the conversation, her flight, which she missed.
Well, there weren't ice storms in LA. How does that work?
Well, because what I was saying is, like, it's going to affect flights everywhere, right? If they shut down 300,000 flights all over the U.S., like, it affects everywhere. It affects the flights going all over the place.
The plane was coming from Chicago
exactly
to LA. And,
yes. The ripple effect.
If you will.
Yes. And so we're talking about it, and it came up this morning. We're hanging out, and I made a joke because, like, now I'm happy. Now I have 2 in my pocket for the rest of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
Is I can say, actually, I had a heart attack, or, well, don't worry about it. I got a direct flight. I'm like, I got 2.
Yes.
Which makes me happy because I'm
you're
petty
winning.
and I'm a smartass.
Yeah, you're definitely winning.
Which is all that matters in the end.
100%.
And so
it's in the Bible.
Yes, that and pay your taxes, apparently, which I did not know. So it came up this morning, and I made a comment. I said, like, oh, don't worry about it. I got a direct flight. I was just, like, poking fun at her, and we're having fun. And she wanted to mix it up a little. She goes, what? I'm like, you said you had a direct flight. She goes, I didn't say that. And so I'm like, okay, go on. What did you say then? And she goes, I said I'm flying directly to Mazatlan. It's like,
okay.
So I'm like, by all means, proceed. So I just started laughing. I'm like,
I'm flying directly from my 3rd stop to Mazatlan.
So I go, you know what? I'm going to give you a mulligan on this one. I know you didn't say that, but let's just say you did. I'm flying directly. I'm all, what's the difference? She goes, well, I'm flying directly south to Mazatlan.
The direct shun of Mazatlan.
And so now I'm kind of like, I'm categorizing things. I'm like, okay, let's keep going on this. Like, now I'm in on the fun. Like, this is gonna be a good time. I was like,
for you.
Okay, number 1, you're not flying directly to Mazatlan. That means flying direct. Like, you're talking about you flew in one direction. She goes, well, see, when you said that, I know what you were concerned about is me missing my flight because of the ice storms. Mm-hmm. And I assumed that's what you were talking about. And so I knew if I said I'm flying directly to Mazatlan, not going east, but straight south, like, that basically answers your question. I'm just laughing. I'm going like, you know what? There's something. Go ahead.
Did you miss your flight? Yes. Okay, just clarifying. I thought you'd missed your flight, and I was right.
And it made me think. I'm like, this is fun. Like, we were laughing about it because then I go like, why would that be different than flying? Like, I don't like, explain that to me. She goes, well, we have there are airlines that that only fly north to south. I'm like, really? That's news to me. I'm like, okay, so let's just unpack everything right here. I asked, you said you had a direct flight. I said, that doesn't make sense to me because you're leaving from such a small airport. And that's where we were at. Now where we're at is you're flying directly towards Mazatlan, not deviating east.
Direction.
Hence, alleviating my concerns that you might miss your flight because of the ice storm. And the reason why this is going to work out is that we have designated jets that only fly north to south and not east to west. And she goes, yeah.
You're sticking with that. Yeah.
This is where things get a little... They got heated up a little bit, but we were laughing. I'm like, you should get into politics. Well, that is a phenomenal answer.
Totally.
And she goes, what do you mean? I'm like, this is what politicians do. Is so like we have this broth that has an original flavor, and given enough time or words, they just keep adding more water and more water and more water. And after a while, so much time goes by, you don't remember what the original flavor of that broth was. You're going like, what were we talking about in the beginning? You know what I mean? And then on a bigger scale, it's like, asked something about spreading democracy to the region. Like, I don't really remember. And I was like, explain, well, this is why Gavin Newsom is so good at what he... What's that? Oh, this is why Gavin Newsom is so good at what he does. Yeah. He'll sit there and just like keep adding water to the broth, like over and over and over again. And then at the end, you're like, I didn't even remember what we were drinking here in the first place.
He's a master.
Now I'm the asshole.
Of course. And I'm sure you putting this on the internet, though, is going to help smooth things over.
I was going to. So then she changes the subject, which I'm like, another master class?
Yep.
Yeah, well done. And she goes, you ever been to the San Jose airport? I'm like, oh, we're changing the subject now. Okay. Yeah, I believe so. She goes, it's a nightmare. I'm like, how so? This is just too rich. She goes, all the terminals and runways are like lined up like end to end, and it just goes on for miles, right? So if you have to go to a different terminal or anything, you have to take a shuttle like all the way to the end. And if it's not that one, you go all the way to the end. I went like, well, given your premise that you're only taking planes that only go north to south and not east to west, I'm like, it's a pretty logical way to lay out an airport, don't you think? Dude, you know what she said? And she goes, it's not my problem. I'm always one step ahead of you. It was hilarious.
And that's the problem with having a little too much time on your hands.
Yes.
You can dwell on these things in your anti-mimetic behavior.
I should have just listened to a podcast. But it's kind of funny. It made me think is after all this was going on, I was just laughing. I was like, that was hilarious. I was like, but you can take that and kind of like apply it to like a larger kind of social issue. I'm like, this was fun, and we were having a good time with it. And she was laughing at the end, like she knew she was just like paddling the wrong way up the creek. You know what I mean? At that point, I was like, but dude, when it comes to actual like truth, it pretty much almost always comes in a very shockingly small package of like, do you have a direct flight to Mazatlan? No. That's it.
That's a good point.
Yes.
The truth comes in a very small package.
Yes. And then you think you go like...
Which is how you know that you're being lied to
Yes.
by Gavin Newsom, is that he has to use fancy lingo, fancy words, and made-up lingo that you don't understand that is confusing.
Yeah.
And a lot of it. Just spread it on.
And keep adding water to that broth.
Yep.
And just keep going and going. It's like Trump. Did you promise to give us the Epstein files? You're Trump.
I'm supposed to give you a Trumpian answer.
No, you're supposed to give me the truth.
Yes, I did.
Have you given them to us?
No.
There you go.
I mean, maybe.
See, here we go.
Well, I'm just saying.
Put some water in.
Maybe he did.
And it made me think of the kind of simple, just like, I don't know what airline she's taking, but just with a couple sentences, the flag goes up. I'm like, that makes no sense. And it's the difference between the walk out the front door brain and maybe the follow the science Inc. brain. You know, we're talking about, you know, when you say, you know, it just takes a lot more effort and a lot more kind of, you know, you're acting a little weird since you got back from Vegas. Like, do you like cheat on me or something? No. I mean, you know,
Okay, that's enough.
I did run into.
It has to be.
I ran into Cindy. Remember Cindy, your ex-girlfriend? Yeah. She, God, wouldn't she know it? She, we caught up. She asked about it. Yeah. I told her you're doing good. She lost her room key. It's just the damnedest thing. And I didn't, you know, we had some drinks and, you know, I slept on top of the covers, right? Just going on and woke up with my arm around her and, God dang, did I pull that thing off? I thought it was you know what I mean? And it's just like, just adding the water to the broth, just adding water.
Yeah, that's why they say that if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a very good memory.
Yes. You don't have to remember anything.
Yeah. So I think we're going to be talking about sports today.
Okay.
I don't know what you have prepared, but I think sports is the theme.
Okay.
Because everything basically is boiling down to two teams battling.
That it is.
And I think that our sports podcast that this has turned into has been a good idea because we posted a video recently. I made a short video about the thing I was saying about the NFL deliberately trying to alienate their fans.
Right. This is good because we talk about sports more and more.
Yeah.
And I'm actually totally digging it.
Yeah.
Because 7 years ago when you came to me, you're like, let's start a sports podcast. I'm like, I don't watch sports.
I didn't say that. Did I?
No, I said, I'm like, I don't watch sports.
No, I didn't say let's start a sports podcast.
Yes, you did.
Really?
Yes, you did.
Dude, it's a good idea.
Well, long time ago.
It's a good idea.
I know, but in the beginning I said, like, I don't watch sports. And you said, like, that's what's going to make it so good, though.
Yes.
It's like, you don't know anything.
Yes.
And I'll just tell you what's going on. And you can just, like, comment on it.
It's a great idea.
And I was like, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. And that's what's becoming. And I'm actually digging it.
Good.
Yes.
Good. My plan is working.
Yes, it is.
All right.
You're playing the long game on this one.
So this is our biggest video by far. And we got some comments on it. Jake, you read the comments from that video?
Yeah. Some very aggressive folks, very passionate.
On YouTube?
Dude, nothing we've ever posted got any like reaction at anyone. But as soon as I posted that video about the NFL, people are fucking pissed.
I haven't seen these, so I'm excited.
Okay, we got, here's the first one. Actually, I'm going to save that one.
Okay, so first off, set the table here.
Yeah, so I was saying that the NFL is deliberately trying to alienate its fans because people don't come to the NFL for peace, love, and understanding.
It was the choose love.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So, well, they used to have end racism on their end zones, and now they don't. So apparently they did.
Yeah.
We've ended racism.
Yeah.
So good. Check that box off. Way to go, NFL. And now that we've ended racism, the new thing to do is to choose love.
This is like the click it or ticket it of the NFL. It's like, we got to put something up there.
Right? We have signs. We have to have something on them. We have helmets. Can't have them say nothing back there. Like if it really, it would be great to just let the players put whatever they really wanted to say on there. Of course, they would censor themselves because they don't want to be canceled. So they would probably put choose love on there because they live in this same world that the fucking NFL is trying to create. You know, you wouldn't see that on the shorts of an MMA fighter.
No.
Or if you did, it would be like they're really Christian and they really do want to choose love. But Dana White's not like out there telling people to choose love. Anyways, people did not appreciate my take on this. This person says, this is Hunter Camp. It's not Monster Jam. People are allowed to care about people.
First off, what's Monster Jam?
It's a movie, right? Jake, what's Monster Jam?
We're finding out right now.
Yeah, I assumed it was that animated basketball movie.
That's Space Jam. With Michael Jordan.
Yeah. What's Monster Jam?
I assumed it was like a monster truck rally or something.
What was that movie with werewolf?
Monsters,
Wolfman's
Inc.?
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. Wolfman's got nards. That's from
Teen Wolf.
No. Okay. I promise. This is from Bones for you. I promise you, choose love is something a lot of people in the U.S. ought to consider more often. Plenty of hate to go around as it is. Michael Nowatsky, 5688. You're a clown.
Not a lot to work with there, but fair enough.
This one says, the irony that a bunch of Pillsbury doughboys don't think the NFL is tough enough because of a sticker is not lost on me.
Yes. Like doughboys, that's awesome.
My wife read that. She's like, Pillsbury doughboys?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, where do you think that reference came from? Pillsbury Doughboys.
I mean, I haven't been in the gym a lot lately.
The doughboy is like a fat kid comment, isn't it? Or is it just like someone who's
just really soft?
Yeah.
I mean, apparently that's us. I thought I was doing my level best to be tough. Granted, I've been injured for a while and I haven't been training as much as I would like to. And My pistol game is probably not where
Water to the broth. Water to the broth.
I really haven't gone out to the shooting range as often, but I mean, point taken. Pillsbury Doughboy. I guess that's who we are now.
I told you gotta put that.
This is a Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah.
I guess you get that from is it the camera angle? Is it? How do you look tougher on camera?
You weren't wearing that hat on the last episode, right?
I was wearing
Take your shirt
glasses.
off.
See, here's a picture of you. And there's me. Fucking doughboys.
Who both played football.
Right. And then this is the best comment. This is why podcast equipment prices should be jacked up. Nobody,
The barrier of entry approach. I like
nobody at all cares about your shit opinions on football.
Yet, here you are.
Thank you for watching. It's just good. It's good, wholesome fun.
Remember, we were on tour in Florida, and we were the headliner. It was a headlining tour. And it was like a 3-month tour or something like that. And we're just like kind of over it. You know what I mean? Just the same thing every night. And in the middle of one of our, in between one of our songs, this random guy goes, "You guys suck." I just looked at him, I'm like, we're the last band, right? You don't have to be here. Right. You're free to leave. Doors open.
Exactly. So we'll be doing a lot more NFL content.
Hell yeah. I like that. Got some traction.
So we briefly touched on the shooting in Minneapolis last episode. Thought maybe we should get into it a little deeper.
Sure.
What do you think?
Sure.
You got anything on that?
Well, what we were talking about in the last episode is that it had a better kind of clearer picture that the emotionally based kind of chick argument happens just as bad on the right, where I just always kind of presumed it was more of a left thing. I can't remember what that was in reference to. Is that
yeah, because of the Rorschach test that you were
right.
talking about. No matter what, the right is going to side with ICE, and the left is going to side against them.
Yeah,
because illegal immigrants represent the children that the people on the left don't get to have, or it represents the destruction of Western society.
The brain contagion I got from cat piss.
Like, is there anything, it goes both ways. Is there anything that the illegal immigrant population could do to turn the left against them? I mean, maybe if they all embrace Christianity, or if they were white, but they can't turn white. And is there anything that
You can turn black.
Can you?
Yeah. You ever see Soul Man? See Thomas Howell? Tanked his Hollywood career. It's a great movie.
Somehow, Robert Downey Jr. didn't tank his career by going full black.
That was one of those, dude. That was one of those. Yes, good point. That was another one of those. We're talking about being psychic. Is in the middle of the night. That's what I was trying to think of when we were talking to Chris Moreno.
Really?
Is I was thinking about. It just all came back to me. In the middle of the night, I was thinking of C. Thomas Howell. Like, he was in Soul Man, and then we never saw him again. Like, it just kind of, it was considered such a terrible, like, awful career choice.
Just tasteless.
And he was in huge movies. He was in Red Dawn. He's in The Outsiders and all these movies. I was like, man, that's just crazy. He was a phenomenal actor, and he did Soul Man. I mean, why am I thinking about this? And I grabbed my phone, and C. Thomas Howell is a guest on, I think, like, at the Adam Carolla show. And I'm like, what
Again,
are the chances of that?
You have the most useless psychic powers. But the flip side on the right, like, I was trying to think, like, is there anything ICE could do where the right would condemn what they did?
Yeah.
Like, if that protester, the dude that was shot, what was his name?
Alex Purdy.
Petty. whatever.
Preddy.
Yeah. If he was out there protesting and just walking down the street and ICE rolled up and just shot him, would they condemn it?
Yeah.
I kind of think they wouldn't.
Right.
Like if it was the most clearly bad shoot in the world,
Yeah.
like obvious to everybody,
Yeah.
I don't think they would condemn it.
Yeah.
I still think they were like, no, he shouldn't have been there.
Yeah,
We shouldn't have been protesting.
We were talking about the kind of contradictions and the hypocrisy going on both sides. Because the right saying, like, you're not allowed to bring a gun to a protest like that. Well, yes, you are. And he did not have a gun out. He had a gun on him.
Here, let's hear Cash actually say that from the horse's mouth here. This is
But as Secretary Noem said, no one who wants to be peaceful shows up at a protest with a firearm that is loaded with 2 full magazines.
I show up everywhere with a firearm and 2 full loaded magazines, and I'm always peaceful. In fact, if I was going to show up somewhere where I wasn't going to be peaceful, I would leave the gun at home.
I appreciate him saying magazine because everyone calling them clips. It just drives me insane.
Thank you for the proper terminology, Cash.
As Christy said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law. But as Secretary...
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And you didn't break the law.
Yeah.
By showing up with multiple... you got to love the language, too. Multiple loaded magazines.
Yeah.
What that means is that he had 1 extra magazine.
Yes.
It sounds like he had body armor on and every single slot was full of magazines.
It's like when they try to go back to like the emotional argument, we'll talk about like some guy, like he had like over 100 rounds back at his house. I was like, I have 100 rounds rolling around in my dryer on any given day.
Thousands of rounds. It's like, yeah, they sell them in boxes of thousands.
And where that emotional argument came is the right was celebrating because they found footage of him a couple days before that kicking the taillight out of an ICE vehicle. And there goes the emotional thing. They're like, see, he was like a bad guy. I'm like, maybe he was. I'm like, he doesn't get to get executed in the street for that.
Yeah. Like that doesn't mean anything. He just because he was kicking out the taillights doesn't mean that you get to shoot him. Mm-hmm. That's what we're saying. Like personally, I think that, and I said this last podcast, like it's not clear that it was a bad shoot or a good shoot.
Right.
You can't really watch it and come away with that. Yep. But you can watch it and see, and Jake, chime in if you have an opinion on this, but the dude that got shot, Preddy, is on the ground, is on his knees and both hands on the ground. And then they remove his gun.
Yeah.
And then he gets shot. How about the irony too? Like, is this lost on anyone that they disarmed him and then they killed him?
I don't think that's ironic.
They disarmed him. Yes. They took his gun and then killed him, which is exactly what the plan is from the top down for taking away people's guns.
Right.
They disarmed him and then they fucking killed him.
Irony. Yes. That's not bad.
Right? He was in a position where he could not really hurt anyone. He was on all fours.
Yeah.
Now, the reason that I say it's not clear, that it was necessarily a bad shoot is because just in that situation where there was a gun, his gun went off when that his SIG P365 went off,
which is
after that cop pulled it out of his holster.
Yes.
Those guns are known to go off by themselves. Dude, if SIG fucking is the reason that guy got killed, fucking that karma for that company. Like, and they have done a lot of damage with those fucking faulty pistols.
Yeah. And sufficiently ensure that we upset everybody is when I was talking about the hypocrisy is we have the Kyle Rittenhouse narrative is just it's been flipped over because what they say about Kyle Rittenhouse, like he shouldn't have been there and he shouldn't have been armed. He obviously went to do this
to kill black people.
Yeah, and now the left is arguing they're pro 2A all of a sudden, which I just find fucking fascinating.
No one is actually.
More people have died so far in ICE custody during the Obama administration than during the Trump administration, though. But the numbers are going up. So,
and there's your inversion again.
Obama had more time. Give them a chance. But yeah, exactly. And
pump those numbers.
Yeah, wait for
Obama
that.
deported way more people too, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he still hasn't reached Obama numbers yet.
The Trump administration could be deporting people by the millions if they just went to the red states where all of the local authorities are on board.
Yeah.
And would help them.
Yeah, if he's trying to make a dent in immigration, why is he going to sanctuary cities where it's going to be the most difficult way to do it? He could be going into Texas.
Yeah. Are we really concerned with immigration, or do we actually want a civil war? That's the question that I ask. Because if they did want a civil war, would they be doing anything different than what they're doing right now? If they did want to provoke the left into a real fight, if that was their actual goal, what would they do differently than what they're doing?
That was the conversation I had with a lefty friend of mine, because he was asking, like, why do you spend so much time shooting? I'm like, I like it, but I also would like to be prepared. And I was kind of ribbing him. I was like, I think it's pretty possible we could end up in a civil war, which would be horrific. He goes, wow, that's ridiculous. Why would you think that? I'm like, if we were, what would be different? Like, what would be different? And he actually said, like, it's a good point.
Yeah, why is it ridiculous to think that we could end up in a civil war?
Yeah.
Seems possible, at least. Probably.
Are we having more civil conversations with each other, or are they getting worse like every day?
We will be at the Liberty Tree Debate Series #2 coming up in May.
Yes, sir. And Trump will hit those Obama numbers in that third term.
I've come to the conclusion that no one is actually pro 2A. That unless you are a principled individual, which doesn't seem to really exist in politics, save a very few people who have an L after their name.
Yeah.
Like, it's not to say all libertarians are principled, but the principled people in government tend to be libertarians.
Yeah, like a Thomas Massey.
Yeah. Like, you just go, without even knowing what he's written on Twitter, I guarantee if you go to his Twitter page or Rand Paul's, they're going to be talking about this incident in Minneapolis and the Second Amendment from a principled standpoint that has not shifted.
Right.
They're the same on it. But people like Tim Pool, did you see that video of him?
Yeah, I saw recently? A couple.
Here, we don't have to listen to the whole thing, but I want to make sure I hit the end of this. What he says at the end is just fucking bonkers.
These liberals who all of a sudden are libertarians and all of a sudden love 2A. and the Lolberts. I love the Lolberts. You know why I love libertarians so much? Because whenever a fight breaks out, they fold like cheap suits.
So what does that mean? Like, when a fight breaks out, like he's talking about immigration.
They turn into doughboys.
So, so there's this fight between ICE and the protesters. That's the fight he's talking about, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And the libertarians have folded. Like, they put in their cards, like, oh, we fold. We don't want any part of this.
No, what he's saying is they're not jumping on one side or the other. They're like, the principles of what I've espoused up until now remain the same.
That's what he means.
Yes.
By folded.
Yeah.
Like, they just are sticking to their principles.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Lolberts.
So I don't have to worry about them at all. These libertarians come out and they're like, look, I'm concerned about immigration, but I don't think the government should be allowed. And I'm like, bro.
Great argument.
Yeah. We didn't use that voice.
I am concerned about immigration, but I don't think the government should be allowed to shoot unarmed civilians. I don't think how about this? I don't think the government should be allowed to disarm you and then kill you.
Yeah.
By all means, scream into the wind. Because if anything actually has to happen, you're going to stand there with our arms crossed while we do the jobs that need to be done. But what I love so much about...
Tim Pool's going
to... Right. Uh-huh. Do you put on a different beanie for that? A little exercise? Or?
But we're doughboys.
This especially is that these people who are saying, I thought you were for the Second Amendment, Tim. I thought you... I was never in favor of the right to keep and bear arms to go and obstruct duly appointed law enforcement officials from a duly elected government because you disagreed with the policy position that everybody else voted for. The idea that you were like, don't I have a right to go fight a cop with a gun?
Is that what happened?
That someone went to fight a cop?
He used a firearm to go obstruct law enforcement.
You know, what he said is that no one has the right to go fight a cop with a gun. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, you don't have the right to go fight a cop with a banana.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean that bananas are illegal. Like, the banana isn't the part that made it illegal. Having a gun is not the bad part. Going and fighting a cop, which in that video, that's not exactly what happened when he got shot, but he did obstruct what they were doing. So I'll give him that point, give the devil his due. Like, the guy did go and intervene.
Yeah.
But that was the problem, not the fact that he had the gun. So his point is, it's a stupid point.
No, you don't. And the funny thing is, I love this, guys. I'm going to let you in on a big secret. Did you know the Second Amendment was not about fighting tyranny? I'm sick of these people who have this, like, 7th grade American traditionalist view of the Second Amendment where they're like, the founding fathers were concerned the government would take over, but tyrannical government would oppress them, so they needed to be armed at all times. Ulysses Grant, what he wrote was...
You don't have a Constitution laying around here, do you?
No.
Okay, I meant to bring mine, but I forgot it. I have this good book that's called The Constitution and Selected Writings of the Founding Fathers.
Okay.
And in the Federalist Papers, both Alexander Hamilton and James Madison talk about why we need a militia.
Right.
And they're very clear that the reason that people need to be armed is to prevent the government from
tyrannical takeover,
being tyrannical. So maybe that is a 7th grade interpretation of the Constitution, but it's the right one.
Right. Yeah, I remember hearing him say that. I was driving. I was like, I don't think that's right. I'm gonna have to double check that, and I did. He's not correct there.
It's such a great example of what we were talking about. Like, this guy is going to just bastardize the Constitution in order to make his team win in this situation where they killed the guy in the street.
Right.
Like, that's all he cares about. He doesn't actually care about the Second Amendment or the Constitution. He just wants to win this fight, which, I mean, I like a lot of stuff that Tim Pool has done, and you say this about all the guys, like Matt Walsh and even Ben Shapiro. I used to like listening to some of the stuff he'd say, but then they just have when it comes to their principles, they have nothing.
Yeah.
They can never stand on principle. They only want their team to win.
They're aligned.
They're the ones pushing us into civil war as much as the left is.
Yeah. Yeah, they're aligned with a narrative, and they kind of reverse engineer their philosophy depending on what the situation is.
Yeah. I'm going to zip to the end here.
I honestly don't even care about this argument coming from communists that they should have a right to keep and bear arms.
Is this where he is the boot?
What about your principles?
No, you want to hear that?
Don't people have a right to keep and bear arms? So the argument right now is this. I'll put it simply. First of all, when these people come out and go, Tim's a bootlicker for defending us, I'm like, no, you misunderstand. It's my boots. It's mine. I voted for them. I'm wearing the boot. I'm stomping on the ground. I ain't licking anybody. I'm clapping for these people that I said, please go out and enforce the law. And anybody else who's cheering for it, who voted for it too, we're all wearing the boots. You're the one crying. You're the one saying you're coming in and enforcing laws we didn't vote for. Well, I got bad news for you. The American people voted for the Republican Party in the House, the Senate, the presidency, and they got the Supreme Court. That means it's the will of the people and democracy that we enforce our immigration law. I'm not going to sit here and say that children should get wrapped up and abused or anything stupid like that. Your stories are fake and they're not happening. Mistake.
That's adorable.
So Tim Pool thinks that he is the man.
Yeah.
Basically. That he is the boot.
And look at him.
He is the man.
He'll fucking tear this place apart.
You see those boots he's wearing? Yes. Like, how delusional do you have to be to think that because you voted for Donald Trump and you voted Republican, that now you are the boot? You are the one stomping on people's necks. You are nothing. Mm-hmm. You will be squashed like a bug in the first opportunity if it suits the people in power.
Right.
Like, you are not the boot. You have no power. You are weak. You are spineless. You aren't actually going to show up to stomp on anyone.
Yeah.
Like, it's just sad to...
Like, would he be giving that UFC press conference speech right there if the Kamala Harris was the president? I don't think so.
No. It's fucking pathetic.
It is.
Those are made. Those are bad. Paying
listen to
their
this.
bills and clapping for them. So cry more about it. But your lies and manipulations ain't playing with me at all. Because I got to tell you, I honestly don't even care about this argument coming from communists that they should have a right to keep and bear arms. You want to come to me and say, but what about your principles, Tim? Don't people have a right to keep and bear arms? I'll say, generally speaking, yes. But when a communist comes to me and says, I shouldn't be allowed to have a gun, I'll return the favor and say, neither should you.
Okay, so...
I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's his principled 2A stance.
Yeah.
You should be allowed to have a gun. Okay, well, neither should you. Really? Okay, so disarming the public is actually your solution to this whole thing.
That's amazing. I didn't hear that before.
How fucking retarded is that?
Yeah. That's disappointing, man, because I've listened to a lot of Tim Pool stuff that I really liked, and I think he's just completely shit the bed on this.
Trump broke everyone's brain.
Yeah.
Not just on the left. MAGA supporters, too. They just can't see clearly anymore. It's just pure rage at this point.
Do we ever come up with a name for our new party?
You wanted to call it the New Left.
It was one of the ideas. Bad ideas are better than no ideas.
So we always
you guys fucking clammed up and had to come up with something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if a new party is. It's never going to work because you have these people that just want a civil war on both sides. They just want conflict. It seems like
this is on a smaller level. Like if you just stay ideologically consistent on issues, it will pigeonhole you back and forth from the left to the right, from the left to the right. You know, someone principled like a Thomas Massey. Republicans love him. And then 2 weeks later, Trump's raising money to get him primaried. Yeah. It's like just goes back and forth. He goes, I haven't really changed my mind on anything.
Yeah. The left hate Thomas Massey and Rand Paul, and now the right does too.
Yeah.
And they've just stayed the course the entire time.
Yeah.
They've never deviated from their principles. Yeah, I don't know why they don't. I mean, if they wanted to avoid what is coming, they could. Just going after these sanctuary cities and just doing it in a violent way.
Yeah, as we talked about in the last episode, like
cops wearing masks, no body cams, like just this kind of extrajudicial style that they're doing. Like,
having a militarized federal police force patrolling cities was something 6 years ago. The right would have been like, "No, you're out of your mind." It's like now they're all for it. I don't know if it's like a Trump thing. I'm guessing like it has a lot to do with it.
I heard something recently, and this sounds fake, so maybe you could check this out, Jake. Where are the Winter Olympics being held this year? Are they happening now? Are they happening in the United States?
I think they start the day after the Super Bowl.
Okay. I heard that they were going to use...
We're going to do our Super Bowl picks this episode, right? Because we're doing...
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what we should pull up what the betting options are.
Jake, find out who's playing in the Super Bowl for me real quick.
I heard
the Winter Olympics are going to be in Milan, northern Italy, I guess.
I was going to guess Italy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then the thing that I heard, I'm not even going to say it out loud because that would be retarded. Someone said that they're going to be using ICE. Oh, maybe it was for the Super Bowl. That they were going to be using ICE agents for security at some big event.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. Like, aren't they busy?
Yeah.
Like, we don't have enough ICE agents as it is, but they're going to take time off to go be security. But I was thinking, if that's true, that's just like, you're asking for trouble.
Right.
Right? And that seems like they are asking for trouble. They want trouble.
ICE is, dude, it's going to be the halftime show. ICE is going to storm in for the halftime show and haul off, what's his ass? Who's playing the halftime show?
Oh, well, he's an American citizen. Big.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. Bad Bunny.
They're trying to make a civil war.
Yeah. Bad Bunny, resident of Costa Rica.
It would be pretty funny, dude. It would be funny. I mean, I'm not for this kind of thing, but if ICE stormed onto the field and dragged Billy Joe from Green Day off and put him in detention.
Dude, I will say this though, as a little note of optimism, the ratio on Twitter that Tim Pool received for that video was just insane. I didn't find one comment.
Yeah, they're supporting him. I follow on Twitter Gavin Newsom and Tim Walz just for the ratios. It's so hilarious. Anytime Gavin Newsom or his people post something, it's just guy gets fucking slaughtered.
I bet.
Which makes me happy.
Yeah.
Broth diluter.
It says that Some sources for this upcoming Super Bowl at the Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, there are reports and confirmations of ICE/Homeland Security investigations involvement in security.
Interesting. Well, I mean, it's Bay Area, California. I'm pretty supportive of ICE around there. Sure, nothing will happen.
I've been continuing the hypothetical litmus tests in my mind, because the first one was like, what if you just showed up to a protest with a shirt that said "Deport all pedophiles"? Mm-hmm. I was like, you'd probably get attacked, which is interesting to think about.
Only one way to find out, Manny.
I was also thinking, I was like, what if I bought a Vanilla Ice shirt and just wore it around? Like, I bet you someone would start yelling at me.
Ooh, I think that's even better.
I'm like, what?
I like the man's music. Does this be a good time to take a break?
Yes.
Have you heard this classic song?
That'll get us kicked off YouTube.
It will.
Here are the top 5 reasons.
I'll figure out a way around it. This is by the renowned artist Leonard Nimoy.
Ooh, I have heard these before. Yes, I've seen.
In the middle of the earth, in the land of Shire, lives a brave little hobbit whom we all admire. With his long wooden pipe, fuzzy woolly toes, he lives in a hobbit hole and everybody knows him. Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins, he's only 3 feet tall. Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins, the bravest little hobbit of them all. Hobbits are peace-loving folks, you know. They're never in a hurry and they take things slow. They don't like to travel away from home. They just like to eat and be left alone. But one day Bilbo was asked to go on a big adventure to the caves below to help some dwarves get back their gold that was stolen by a dragon in the days of old. Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins, only 3 feet tall. Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins, the bravest little hobbit of them all. Well, he fought with the goblins. He battled a troll. He riddled with Gollum. A magic ring he stole. He was chased by wolves, lost in the forest, escaped in a barrel from the Elf King's halls. Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins, the bravest little hobbit of them all.
My money is on that song "Bilbo Baggins" by Leonard Nimoy. That was possibly his soul man moment.
Yeah, you didn't see much of him after that. Yeah. God, I tell you what, for being a doughboy, God, I don't have a lot of body fat to keep me warm. It's cold in here.
You're just trying to cover up those man boobs. Big baggy sweatshirt. I know that trick. I do it all the time. Want to go watch football?
Yeah,
we got
watch the WWE.
We got to tap our inner Tim Walsh, man.
Totally.
We got to do this guy wrong. Who wants to go dog hunting? Who wants a tampon?
I should challenge those guys to a WWE
match. You want to riff on some conspiracy theories for a bit?
I would love to.
Okay.
Nothing more.
Okay, first one. I brought this up with you briefly, but give the elevator pitch of the Deagle statistics.
Well, the conspiracy there is that some form of information came out to this website Deagle that was an aggregate of military-industrial goods being purchased around the world by different governments. And this website also did population projections. They used to. And back in 2017, they predicted that the Earth's population would fall by 2/3 in the year 2025, which passed and it didn't happen. So we can just write that off as, something that was fake.
Okay. But then we had a discussion because we were talking about it. And, just because on New Year's Eve, I wasn't going like, whew, turns out it wasn't true. I'm like, it was a projection. Now, still could be, and the reason why I brought it up is when we talked about it originally years ago, I was like, what's interesting, though, given that this is a legitimate website, and it appears to be, is they might nail it. They might not. I'm guessing they probably won't. You know what I mean? Because it's a pretty drastic prediction. I was like, but what's concerning, the thing that you got to think about is it's based on something.
Presumably.
Yeah, like, I don't know why they would just pull that out of their ass.
Just a gag.
Yes. Now.
Get a few laughs.
It did for
gold in your retirement
So I'm listening to this talk about AI, and it was like a guy who developed AI, and then I think he was going back and forth with Elon Musk, and they were talking about their conversation. Now they were talking about, originally started, who was the guy, Andrew Yang, ran on the idea of UBI.
Right.
And UBI is a universal basic income, and we just give people money, and that frees, and this will align with technology, because as technology replaces more and more people's jobs, we just give them money so we don't have like complete civil unrest and people starving in the streets and stuff like that. Now UBI has become UHI. Now this is, I think,
that's
Elon Musk's thing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be universal high income. And the reason is that AI will eventually replace everything, right? And no one's going to have a job, and everyone's going to have all the money they need in the world to do whatever they want. Which to me sounds like hell. I think it's a terrible idea.
It also sounds like someone that doesn't understand what money actually is.
Yes.
Someone that thinks that money is just the stuff that we print, which you could be forgiven for thinking that if you live in the United States, because that's
what we do.
That's why the world is the way it is. But if you lived in Zimbabwe, you would know that doesn't work.
Yes. Now, we had a discussion a little bit yesterday. I was like, it was more kind of like a philosophical bent of like, well, what he seems to be kind of alluding to is the idea of like, if we're all fabulously wealthy, it creates this crazy, extravagant, like egalitarian kind of society. I was just like, well, you can't get rid of envy. You can't get rid of desire. You can't get rid of man's need to strive for something a little more. If you don't believe me, check the average trajectory of your average, lottery winner, for example. Typically, it doesn't turn out, too well for them. And then we were like, off the top of our heads, you say like, okay, so if everyone's got all the money in the world that they need, they can afford anything they want. I was like, you're still going to have someone living in, Cleveland and someone else living, on the shore of Honolulu, for example. And I guess we were like, well, why can't I live there? And there's already someone living there, and they both can afford any place that they want. I'm like, It doesn't really get rid of that natural kind of human emotion.
People do choose.
Well, some people like Cleveland. I'm saying, but a lot of people don't. So as the talk went on, he's saying, since AI will provide us with all of our needs and all the money in the world, we're restructuring society so everyone has all the money in the world. He goes, eventually it's going to get to the point where we're not going to need all these people because we're not going to need all these workers, we're not going to need all these factories. He goes, I think the logical conclusion is like at some point we'd be looking at a reduction of the population of somewhere around like 70%. And that's when I went like, what?
What'd you say there? What was that number?
And it made me think of the Deagle statistics. Which that's what that projected.
Exactly.
So not saying I cracked any kind of code, but again, that projection was based on something, and that makes sense to me that we would have a reduction of the population if we had this UHI.
But it would, you would think, if it's a rosy picture, which it seems like that's what Elon Musk is painting, then the population reduction wouldn't happen overnight. And the Deagle projection was
2025
overnight. It was like 2024, it was normal. 2025, it was down by 2/3. So
yeah,
I could see like I could definitely see universal high income, which is also known as communism, leading to a reduction in population because that's what's happened throughout history, with food shortages and just mismanagement of the economy, and just that levels of depression and state-sponsored suicide and drug addiction and all those things, right? But still, it would kind of
state-sponsored suicide. I don't think that's a little out there. You're not talking about the MAID program in
yes.
Canada by any chance, are you?
Made in California.
Made in California.
But again, that would happen relatively slowly.
Yes.
You're not going to see that.
Yeah,
overnight.
no. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the two things are related, but I was just like, maybe it's kind of something they had in mind when they made that projection, or whatever. So, okay. So I was thinking about conspiracy theories a lot. We're going to cover some kind of well-worn ground, but I just want to kind of hear your ideas on some of this stuff. Is my thought on how conspiracy theories get started is someone makes an observation that seems to be incongruent with what they believe, perceive to be reality, right? And then they ask us a question about that. And now the question is, ostensibly directed at some kind of institution. It's like, what's going on here? And the answer they get doesn't pass the walk out the front door test. So people just start coming up with their own ideas,
right? And
that spreads, and it can get completely ridiculous. QAnon, well, the reason why JFK didn't come back to Dallas Plaza, last year is because he looked down and saw too many people, and like it's going to be a few more weeks, or like whatever it is. So fun to follow. But then you have a lot of these other ones where you get some kind of wild speculation and it's all over the map, and then it kind of distills down, hopefully, usually like more sober kind of minds take over and go like maybe it's this. And then we get the slow drip, drip, drip of the limited hangout, and maybe a few things declassified, and then we're in our headbox model. Right? Mm-hmm. So if you talked about 10 years ago chemtrails, what would the reaction be?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you'd be insane. Then they declassify Operation Popeye, cloud seeding, weather modification. That's when they stimulated rainfall in the Ho Chi Minh Valley to flush out the Viet Cong. That's going back to the 70s. And now we have company, it's a Rainmaker in Texas. I'm like, and they'll give it a new name. It's, now it's not weather modification, it's cloud seeding. I'm like, okay, are we arguing over flying direct to Mazatlan or directly to Mazatlan? That sounds like the same thing. And then, if you bring up Operation Popeye, why are you still talking about this? Like and that's how the conspiracy theories kind of. And now, did you watch the congressional hearings of them, talking about chemtrails?
No.
Someone looks up in the sky and goes like, "What's with the grid cloud up there?" And the answer is like, that's just a cloud. That's just how they are. And then guys, I'm not buying that. And this guy goes off into the Netherlands with his own ideas, however ridiculous. Now, they just had congressional hearings where the scientists are coming out, and it was a little terrifying. He goes, yeah, we've been doing, the ridiculous chemtrail speculation was that it was some kind of pollutant that was going to cause depopulation. Go back to the Deagle stuff. They're saying like, no, what we're doing, it's an aerosol to try to dim the sun a little bit. We started in the UK because, as everyone knows, it's been the UK. Like it's just
so hot,
baking hot there constantly. And now these scientists are coming out and they're basically saying like, we might have fucked up. We've been doing this for a long time, and I don't know if we're getting the toothpaste back in the tube at this point because we've been doing it for so long.
This is recently?
It was like last week.
Really?
Yes.
And they've said we kind of fucked up.
Yeah, he goes,
I've been saying that. Yes, you're going to fuck it up. Like, you don't know what you're doing.
This is a congressional hearing. This is not a bit shoot.
God.
Yes. And I was like, oh, well, there's another one. There's another, just check it off the list. It was a conspiracy theory. And they're like, yeah, we've been doing it. Like, basically with that particular event, we were in the, we already did it. Like, what the fuck are you going to do about it kind of stage. And then we have these whistleblowers coming out and saying, like, this was not a good idea. We shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, no shit.
Yes.
Like, my 7-year-old would have said, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Like, blocking out the sun. I remember the first time I heard that, it's like, you have no idea what you're playing with.
Yes.
And you're just going to experiment and just give it a whirl
On
and
all
see what
of us.
happens
On
on
all of us.
everybody
Yeah.
because you're wealthy enough to know that even if everything does go to hell, you'll still be able to be comfortable.
Yeah.
But we could create a new ice age on Earth. Everyone else is suffering. People starve to death. The population declines by, 66%. What the fuck? Fucking knew it. I don't know why I'm upset. Like I knew this was happening. But
Yes.
it's just upsetting to know that they're actually admitting that they did it and they fucked up.
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. Put your head back on, slave.
So, Epstein files, right? That's another one. Remember, we did an episode where we're not going to go through it again, but all we did is we laid out what you're telling us, the teaspoons of broth, of diluted broth that you serve, us peons. And the way we laid it out, like, here's all the things. Now, what are the chances of all these things happening and them all being connected? Mm-hmm. And I think we came up with it's
a really, really small number.
Yeah, first I was like, maybe one of those things, two of those things, like, but all 17, like, I kind of doubt it. Which sent me down a rabbit hole about, have you guys looked into Erica Kirk? Charlie Kirk's?
I've been hearing a lot about her.
Yes.
Not looked into her.
She, I believe, Jake, maybe you can double check this. Is she now the CEO
of Turning Point?
Yep. Okay.
Now, husband died, and in her grieving, she took over the
Have you
CEO-ship of the
listened to the leaked phone call of his funeral?
No.
Or Zoom call with the Turning Point team?
No, was this on Candace Owens? Or?
Yeah, she found it and put it out to the world. It's bizarre.
Really?
It is very bizarre.
Can we play it?
I'm sure we could dig it up. Erica Kirk Zoom call. Jake, you can probably find it. They say everyone grieves different. I think that can be modified to everyone grieves because I'm not seeing much grieving in this video.
Really?
It's insane. She's excitedly talking about merch sales at the service that they're
at the funeral.
Yes. Yeah, they sold merch there and made a killing.
Wow.
And she goes, we're back ordered on hats by like 50,000 units. Like, she's all great job, team.
This would have to be for me to pass any judgment on her. I'm not extremely.
I'm not doing that yet. That's it.
Is that it, Jake?
I want you to put those in your heart as why you're still here with the.
This might be it.
I don't know what part of this is the controversial part.
Yeah, it looks pretty long. We'll skip it for now.
Okay. So Erica Kirk has taken over Turning Point USA, allegedly, as their CEO, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your basic one-sentence understanding of what Turning Point USA is?
Just an organization to rally youth to the Republican Party.
Yeah. Conservative, Christian, American values, things like that. Getting people to be politically active on the conservative side of things. Now, what do we know about Charlie Kirk before he died? The rumor was that he was turning his back on Israeli donors, right? And we were told by Josh Hammer, who works with him at Turning Point, they're like, no, that's absolutely not true. And then Candace Owen puts out the group text with both of them on there of Charlie Kirk saying, like, I have no choice but to turn my back on the Israeli cause. And what happened after that?
He was murdered.
He was murdered by another acting totally alone, lone gunman. Now, what's your understanding of the Daily Wire?
It's a conservative.
Same thing.
Whoa. Sorry.
Making margaritas there. You got the ice off your porch, right? So Can you think of a fundamental difference between Charlie Kirk's kind of perspective in his later days and the Daily Wire?
Yeah, the Daily Wire is very pro-Israel.
Ben Shapiro is a deranged Zionist.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
to put it mildly.
Yeah.
Now the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, and some of these people have stepped in to help steer the ship with Turning Point USA. Now their talks have Ben Shapiro. And okay, so this is where like things. Have you looked at the kind of basic like career trajectory of Erica Kirk? So she was Miss Arizona, I believe, a pageant owned by Trump, interestingly enough. And then she went from that. I think she got into like reality shows and modeling and stuff like that. And then starts a children's charity in Romania.
Really?
Which is kind of an odd leap.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think?
Interesting.
Now, there have been allegations that a lot of children, it was called the Romanian Angels. And I believe that was under the umbrella of another organization called You Are the Hero, or something like that. There's allegations of like a lot of missing children from the Romanian Angels program. When I look at people, which appears to be like randomly starting children's charities, my ears always kind of perk up. I was like, I just feel like these things come out. Remember the one we did? Remember Howard Lutnick?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember we just like lay stuff out? I'm like, just lay it on a list, everything that we know, right, to be fact. Don't make any allegations or anything. And like, does it just seems like there's something else going on here? So we take Howard Lutnick, who is now the Commerce Secretary for Donald Trump, I believe. Now, he was also the guy that stood right beside Trump and kind of chuckled with this like disdained look on his face when Trump was yelling at a reporter for bringing up the Epstein files.
Yeah.
I was like, there's something kind of odd going on there. And then you look up Howard Lutnick, who was the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, who ran his office in the Twin Towers. He was known for working long hours and never taking a day off.
Except that day.
Except that day where he decided to drive his son to school. And then also working in that office, who didn't show up that day, was the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, Fergie, who was married to Prince Andrew. What do we know about Prince Andrew these days?
That he's a pedophile.
Okay, so we wouldn't even say that.
Okay. No,
allegedly. He was basically kicked out of the royal family for his association with Jeffrey Epstein, and there's been several allegations of him sexual misconduct with very, very, very young girls who have come out and said like that guy raped me.
That Virginia chick,
Virginia Giuffre,
came out and said that he raped her, right?
Yeah, and so then you lay that out. You're like, Howard Lutnick decides not to go to work on 9/11. That's interesting. And then gets in, also working there was the Duchess of York. She gets inspired by the events of 9/11, tells a story of like looking in the wreckage and seeing a little red doll or something like that. I guess it was probably next to the passport that didn't burn up in there. She goes, I'm inspired to start a children's charity. I'm like, that's getting interesting. Howard Lutnick says, I too am inspired, much in the way I was inspired to drive my kid to school that morning, and I'll start the charity with you together. And they start a children's charity, and some children go missing. And then Howard Lutnick, who was his neighbor, Jeffrey Epstein, they lived next to each other. It was his neighbor in New York. And I'm like, okay, now we're back to Prince Andrew and his wife starting. I'm like, at a certain point, like I haven't cracked any code here, but this kind of anything standing out to you as being a little unusual, like possibly. So Erica Kirk starts this Romanian Angels program, right? Her husband is murdered, and after texting, like, I'm leaving the Israeli cause, now they're back on track with the Israeli cause with the people from the Daily Wire helping her steer the ship, right? Which, have you followed the meeting that Charlie Kirk had in the Hamptons that we were originally told like never happened by Josh Hammer?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your understanding of that?
Was that the one where he actually met with Netanyahu?
And Israeli donors. And he goes like, I'm not on board. At this point, he was starting to kind of have like a Tucker Carlson awakening about like what was going on in Gaza and stuff like that. And it almost sounds like if these things are true, he was a pretty principled guy. That like, no, like I started this whole thing for these certain sets of values, and I'm not going to take a bunch of money and deviate from that just because you guys are going to give me hundreds of millions of dollars. A couple of years later, he's killed. Now we're saying that meeting didn't exist, and we say it did exist, but he didn't say that. And then we get the text messages like, okay, well, he did say that. Basically, what the fuck you can't do about it? Like, we're already doing this thing. Mm-hmm. You look more into, okay, let's skip something real quick. Jake, you there?
Yep.
Give us a quick rundown about Pizzagate.
Oh, man. I got one for you right here.
Sweet. I figured you did.
James Alefantis was one of the 50 most influential people in Washington, D.C.
This is the guy that owned Comet Pizza?
Comet Pizza was his restaurant. I got it all up on the screen, honestly.
Sweet.
But, yeah, he's involved with all kinds of creepy stuff. Maria Abramovich.
Yep.
There's this
the
internet paper trail that existed prior to the attention getting focused on them that had all kinds of really creepy stuff, some of which you see on the screen right now.
Yeah, I don't want to look at that.
Yeah, can you take it off the screen, please?
So we can look at John Podesta's artwork on another day.
Oh, God, please don't.
Okay, Pizzagate. Wild conspiracy theory, not even related to what we're talking about. What's your understanding of the way that pizza is used as a code word by pedophiles on the internet, on like YouTube videos and chat platforms?
Yeah, it's a code word.
Signal, right? Mm-hmm. But if you say that to most people...
Cheese pizza, I think, was their actual
and
code.
if you say that to some people, they'll just say you're like a complete maniac.
Mm-hmm.
Special Agent Dimitri L. Willis, he works for the FBI and signed after the date and released it. And he goes, they had figured out years ago that pizza is like a code word used by pedophiles, to communicate on these platforms and everything. So at least someone in authority seems to think this is true. Now we see Turning Point USA is going the way of the Daily Wire, right?
Yep.
Which would have been totally against what Charlie Kirk would have wanted.
Yeah, it's crazy that they are, right? Like, he was obviously against it. We know that now. And yet it's not stopping his wife from just getting fully on board with the Zionists.
Do you know who Erica Kirk's boyfriend was before she met Charlie Kirk?
No.
Cabot Phillips.
Don't know who that is.
He's the senior editor-in-chief of the Daily Wire.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh.
Jake, see if you can find this. It's hard to find because I believe it's been scrubbed. But Cabot Phillips is a handsome, well-dressed, clean, conservative Christian fellow. Now, do we see people like that with like a lot of tattoos?
Yeah.
This dude is straight up like old school Republican.
Okay. Yeah, probably not.
Okay. You like pizza?
Yes.
Do you love pizza?
It's okay. What are you trying to...
Would you get a pizza tattoo?
No. Really?
Jake, look up Cabot Phillips pizza.
He's already got it up.
It's on the screen.
On his inside of his lip. He just has the word pizza.
Wow.
All I'm doing is just laying things out, going like, that's kind of odd. Wouldn't you think?
Wow. That is odd.
Not bad for a couple doughboys.
Bobby told Lucy the world ain't round. Drops off sharp at the edge of town. Well, Lucy, you know the world must be flat. 'Cause when people leave town, they never come back. They go 90 miles an hour to the city limit sign, put the pedal to the metal before they change their mind. Hey, howl at the moon, shoot out the light, it's a small town Saturday night. Yeah, I'll let the moon shoot out the light.